This is ESPN, the network for thoroughbred racing.
The state flower of Maryland is the black-eyed Susan. It's become better known as the flower of the Preakness, the second jewel of racing's Triple Crown. And today, the flower names Pimlico's premier stake for 3-year-old fillies, the 68th Black-Eyed Susan. And on the turf, the early times Dixie Handicap, a race that was first contested here in 1870, is Pimlico's oldest stakes event. The Black-Eyed Susan and the Dixie Handicap, a live thoroughbred racing doubleheader coming up next from Maryland. ESPN presents Budweiser Racing Across America. Brought to you by Budweiser. Nothing beats the excitement of horse racing, and nothing beats a Bud. By the Breeders' Cup, racing's $10 million championship. Wagner, makers of quality power painters, power rollers, power washers. The Daily Racing Form, the paper to read when you're playing to win. And by Matchlight, there's only one match for Matchlight. Stay tuned for a thoroughbred racing doubleheader from Pimlico Racecourse in Maryland, live on ESPN.
Would you all please fax me a beer? This invention's gonna set the whole world on its ear. When I send some Budweiser your way and it comes out cold and clear. Sit back, relax, and punch your facts, I'll fax you a beer. Sit back and drink and give thanks to Hank, and I'll fax you a Bud.
Spend the summer racing on the Jersey Shore at beautiful Monmouth Park. Monmouth Park with more than $2.8 million in stakes money and overnight purses of $135,000 each day. The season is highlighted by the Haskell Invitational on August 2nd and the Island Handicap, the next to last race in the American Championship Racing Series, on August 8th. From the John J. Riley Handicap on May 29th to the Queen Charlotte on September 6th. Share in the glory. Be a winner at Monmouth Park. For information, contact Randy Soth, Director of Racing.
Crisp, clean, Old Spice. It puts the wind in your sails.
The Last Boy Scout. Kick off the weekend with a blast. An enormous hit, Roger Ebert, and Joel Siegel calls it explosive. Be prepared for non-stop action. Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, The Last Boy Scout. Look for it on video cassette.
In 1991, coming to Keeneland was a championship experience. Begin your championship bids at Keeneland in 1992.
ESPN welcomes you to historic Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore, Maryland, the second oldest thoroughbred racetrack in America, and to the start of Preakness weekend here on ESPN. And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. For the next couple of days, ESPN will be here bringing you the major stakes races before the running of the second jewel of America's Triple Crown race. Of course, talking about the Preakness, set for tomorrow afternoon, the 10th race at 5:31 Eastern Time. And already this Preakness has made history with a full field of 14 in the starting gate expected. It will be the richest in the 117-year history of this classic. A gross purse of $744,800. And today we've got an exciting live thoroughbred thoroughbred doubleheader for you on this day before the Preakness, featuring fillies and turf horses. The Black-Eyed Susan, it is the filly counterpart to the Preakness for the 3-year-old fillies today, and the Early Times Dixie Handicap. That's coming up in about 11 minutes to post. Let's take a look at the race conditions. They'll be going 1 1/8 miles on a turf listed as firm here this afternoon. An overcast day in Maryland. $150,000 guaranteed in the purse. This is for thoroughbreds 3 and up. And this is part of the Early Times Triple Turf Classic Series. Let's take a look at a schedule now. Of course, we'll be covering all these for you on ESPN. We covered the Louisville Early Times race at Churchill Downs the day before the Derby. Today's Dixie Handicap. And then it'll be the Early Times Manhattan Handicap the day after they run the Belmont. There's $1 million bonus for anyone who sweeps the 3 races, and another bonus we want to talk about. And joining us now, 2 gentlemen very much involved in this series and in this big weekend. Rick Poville, he is the senior brand director for Early Times, and of course our host here, the chairman of the Maryland Jockey Club, Joe DeFrancis. Rick, let's start with you. The involvement of Early Times and this classic series in thoroughbred racing, been good for the company?
It's very good for the company. This is our 2nd year, and the way we measure whether something's good or not is our brand awareness. So our brand awareness since we started this series has jumped quite a bit.
And if people missed it, we had a record today, the largest Black-Eyed Susan drink ever made.
Yes, that we did. It was, I guess, 50 gallons. And I guess everybody partook, and everybody enjoyed it.
Well, let's go to Joe DeFrancis here now, as you mentioned, our host here. Joe, for you, of course, a busy weekend. Preakness weekend is always the biggest of the year.
Oh, it sure is, Chris, and we're looking forward to a great Preakness. We have the biggest field in 22 years, and it's going to be one of the most interesting Preakness I think ever run.
Now, you've been described by Rick here as the brains of a new bonus incentive series that's gone along with their $1 million bonus that Early Times has.
Yes, what we wanted to do, the existing bonus gave a tremendous incentive to the winner of the race in Kentucky to go on to Maryland, but only that one horse. It was only for the winners. So what we did is come up with a bonus that would enhance the purse structure for any horse that finished in the top 4 in any of the races, so long as they competed in all 3 races.
Well, our horses are on the track now for the Early Times Dixie Handicap. They'll be going to the turf course soon. It's time to meet the field. And for that, let's join my colleagues on the telecast today, Tom Durkin and Frank Wright.
The Dixie Handicap is a race with a long history, so we turn to our historian in residence here at Racing Across America, Frank Wright, who not only is familiar with the history of this race, he was part of it.
Well, appropriately part of an oldie, Tom. The Dixie first run in 1870 is Pimlico's oldest stake. But it had a big character change in 1955 onto the turf at 1.5 miles. I was second in it in 1968 at that distance. But last year, the Dixie was changed again to 1.8 miles, still on the grass. This done to accommodate the Early Times series and to give consistency to this fine 3-race program, of which the Dixie is the 2nd leg.
All right, let's meet these 10 older horses that will be competing in the Dixie. Number 1 is Simile, initially raced in France, competitive in graded stakes races here in the U.S. last year. Number 2, Royal Ninja, comes from way out of it and used that tack to win the Appleton Handicap at Gulfstream Park this winter. Rebuff will go off at a long price. Lotus Pool, a son of Preakness winner Spectacular Bid, and Craig Perrette rides. Number 5, Baron de Beau, was a pretty good 3-year-old. He finished 3rd in the Belmont Stakes, but at age 5, he seems to be slowing down a bit. And number 6, 4 Stars All-Star, finished 3rd, beaten 2 lengths in the first leg of this series at Churchill Downs. He won the first leg of Ireland's Triple Crown last year, and New York's reigning rider Mike Smith is up. Number 7, Futurist, a sharp 2nd over the turf here last out. And number 8, Sky Classic, is the favorite, and why not? He was one of the best grass horses in North America last year, earning over $1 million. He was 2nd last out in the Early Times. Number 9, Social Retiree, a long shot with top local rider Edgar Prado. And number 10 is By Union Avenue, who at age 6 is having a career year. Let's take a look at the aforementioned Early Times, and as they turn for home, you will see that 4 Stars All-Star there in the white noseband is coming on to get the lead. Kudos, the eventual winner in the red, white, and blue silks, coming hard on the outside to gain the victory, and in the red and yellow of Samson Farms' Sky Classic, he'll be 2nd. Kudos rolls through the stretch, and he goes on to an impressive victory that afternoon. He indeed equaled the course record for that distance, and yet he will not be here this afternoon. He would have been the favorite, but was injured, Frank.
Well, bad luck. Kudos took a bad step here galloping last Sunday. Fractured his pastern bone just under the ankle. Fortunately, the break didn't go into the joint. Attending veterinarian James Stewart put on a fiberglass cast, and he believes that the injury is reparable. So the good news, Tom, kudos maybe back to the races next year.
All right, well, we'll look forward to that next year. Right now, let's go to Chris.
And without kudos, as the horses approach the starting gate, we can tell you only 2 remain eligible for the new bonus system. That's the second place finisher.
Secretariat.
Hey, Franco, where are you going with all that sports equipment?
Well, Bob, I haven't used this stuff for a while, so I'm looking for a place to store it.
Why don't you be a sport instead?
What are you talking about?
Pittsburgh's first Be a Sport Day, when you can donate your reusable sports equipment for kids who really need it.
Great idea, Bob, but where do I take this?
Saturday, May 16th, bring your sports equipment to one of Pittsburgh's 19 recreation centers or fire stations from 10 to 3.
Call 255-2390 for the location nearest you and
be a sport.
Sponsored by the City of Pittsburgh, Department of Parks and Recreation, Councilman Bob O'Connor, Chair.
And in our dream house, we'll have a workshop.
Yeah, and a big family room.
And air conditioning we can really count on. Nothing but the best.
Must be true love.
Must be a Lennox.
Quality is what you get at Bob May Heating and Air Conditioning.
For over 25 years, Bob May has provided peace of mind service to the Aspinwall area. The Bob May professionals are committed to customer satisfaction.
Give us a call today.
Now, see your local dealer for special savings.
The Ohio Derby, one of America's premier 3-year-old races. 5 recent winners have gone on to win Grade 1 events. The 58th running of the Grade 2 $300,000 Ohio Derby will be Saturday, June 20th. It's Ohio's richest thoroughbred race. Deadline for nominations is Saturday, May 23rd.
With Matchlight, you get the best charcoal, Kingsford, with just the right amount of lighter fluid already added. That's why there's only one match for Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
Before they come out of the gate, take a close look at the major contenders in the middle jewel of the Triple Crown, a Preakness Stakes special, Saturday afternoon at 1 Eastern, live on ESPN.
ESPN's America's Cup 92. I'm Jim Kelly in San Diego, where America Cube now leads the series 3 races to 1. They could wrap it up with a win in race 5. Don't miss America's Cup excitement Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, live on ESPN.
Back live at Pimlico Racecourse, Baltimore, Maryland. About 3 minutes to post for the early times Dixie Handicap. There you see our turf horses on the main track as they're getting ready to approach and go over to the turf course and into the starting gate for this mile-and-a-half test, $150,000 guaranteed purse. Now let's get a little insight on this race, and we'll get it from a man who really knows about this game. I'm not talking about Tom Durkin.
We're here with George Burnett, who is the editor of the Daily Racing Form. But we want to talk to George Burnett, horse player, a guy who's had a copy of America's Turf Authority in his back pocket for a long time.
That's right, Tom. Since I was about 7, I thought it was the greatest game played outdoors then, and I still think that, and I play it every chance I get.
Well, it's a lot more fun when you win. Who do you like in the Black-Eyed Susan today?
The Black-Eyed Susan, I think I'm going to take Preach, a Grade 1 winner and gets Lasix for the first time. And I think for a second horse, I take Miss Legality. She had some trouble in Kentucky last time. I think she'll run better today.
Okay, how about a line of type or 2 on the Dixie Handicap?
Okay, Sky Classic, the Canadian. I think he'll run very big here today. And Simile and Lotus Pool look to me to complete my exacta box.
Okay, well, there you get it. You'll get Sweep's picks and Hermes's picks. Now you've got the editor's picks in the Daily Racing Form.
All right, Tom and George, thank you very much. Let's check now and see what the public thinks of this field. Their picks for the early times Dixie Handicap here. Simile at 22, Royal Ninja the big price, Rebuff also double digits, Lotus Pool at 7-1, and Baron DeVoe at 17. Those are the high prices in the field. Here's the other half now, and here are the short prices. 4 Stars All-Star 4-1, Futurist at 5-1. Here is the strong, even money favorite, as expected, the horse from Canada, Sky Classic, Social Retiree, a big price, and by Union Avenue at 7-1. Well, Frank Wright joins me now. And, Frank, your thoughts on this field and on this event here, about to start on the turf, about a minute to post.
Well, first, remember, it's a handicap, and the very accomplished Sky Classic is high-weighted, 122 pounds. Another quick thought that's so interesting in turf races, the internationalism, the interstatism. There's 2 foreign countries represented where the horses were foaled, France and Canada, and 6 states, Florida, Virginia, Maryland, New York, Kentucky, and New Jersey.
We'll take a look now at the stakes and track record. It's one and the same, the time of 1:47. You saw that race covered right here on ESPN last year. The Dixie Handicap double book covered it in 1:47 for the mile and 8. That's what they're shooting for, along with a purse, of course, of $150,000 guaranteed, along with, for 2 at least, Sky Classic, the 8-horse, and 4 Stars All-Star, the 6-horse, to stay in the running for that $100,000 per race bonus money from early times. They're behind the starting gate now, and Tom Durkin will be getting ready to call the race for us. Tom, your thoughts?
Well, now moving into line is post position number 3 is Rebuff at 23-1, a horse that interests me at a price. I think after a Razi, it'll be a friendly day in France before I like another favorite. But Rebuff is a horse that just loves this racetrack. There he is in the white and red silks. He won the Chieftain Stakes here last year over the turf at Pimlico, paid $123 to win. And you just mentioned Double Book, who's got a record here. Well, he was defeated by Rebuff. There's a horse that really likes the track. He's 7 years old. He's making his 2nd start of the season. Frequently, these old-timers need a race or 2 to get going. Here's 4 Stars All-Star, the winner of last year's Irish Guineas. And he is being loaded into the starting gate, walking just a little bit. He might provide the early speed. Many of the horses here only have 1 or 2 starts so far this year. That's because many of them are based in the east and in the north. If you want to run on the grass over the wintertime, you better be in Florida. There's Pat Day aboard the favorite Sky Classic. Right now, the tote board reads even money on the sensation from Canada. And completing the field will be 30-1 Social Retiree, and by Union Avenue. There's Social Retiree with Edgar Prado, runaway leading jockey here at Pimlico. And completing this field of 10 is by Union Avenue. There's hope for us all, even Chris Lincoln. Here's a horse that's getting up in years, but he still can do it. He's won 2 in a row. We're in the gate, and they're off in the Dixie. 4 Stars All-Star comes out fast right for the lead, and checked at the start was Rebuff as Baron DeVoe came over. Futurist is coming up in between horses now, and on the far outside it's Social Retiree. The early pace is relatively slow. As you can see, the jockeys take their horses in hand. Social Retiree has gone on now to take a relatively easy early lead. Futurist is under a hard hold second. Baron DeVoe up close to the pace. He's in hand too. 4 Stars All-Star has conceded the lead. He's tucking in behind horses, saving ground. And in the green on the outside, it's by Union Avenue. And then the favorite there in red and yellow is Sky Classic. He's drafting in behind horses in windy conditions here. He's about 6 lengths from the lead. Then it's Rebuff who's taken to the outside now, followed by Simile. And at the back of the pack are Lotus Pool and the late running long shot Royal Ninja. He's about 10 lengths from the lead. They move up the backstretch now. The opening quarter was indeed slow, 24-2, and a soft half mile in 48 3/5 seconds. Social Retiree with a big advantage here. He's leading through slow fractions, and now Edgar Prado lets it loose. He's opening up here by a length. On the outside, Baron DeVoe is now running in second. Futurist between horses racing third by Union Avenue on the outside. 4 Stars All-Star is yet to make a move. Now he kicks in. He's third and gaining ground on the inside, but he'll need running room. And Sky Classic, he's still 6 lengths from the lead under patient Pat Day, and they're moving toward the top of the stretch. Social Retiree trying to pull off a huge upset here as 4 Stars All-Star comes charging through on the inside. Baron DeVoe is still in with a chance, and on the rail, Sky Classic comes charging on through. They're coming to the final furlong, and it's Social Retiree. Here comes Sky Classic driving on the inside. 4 Stars All-Star on the outside. They're full of runners. They come to the line. Sky Classic down on the rail. 4 Stars All-Star, and Sky Classic does it. Classic Pat Day. Saving ground all the way. Ever patient. They turned for a home, and he drilled him through an opening on the inside to win it here. And the final time was 1:47-4.
Well, the Derby winning rider, Pat Day, has made his mark on Pimlico to say, get ready for me tomorrow for the Preakness. Of course, he'll be on the Derby winner, Little E.T. again, who is the favorite for the Preakness Stakes. And he rode Sky Classic just like the master he is, Frank. Again, showing the classic Pat Day patience, waiting for it to open up for him as he went to the rail.
Well, you're going to see a rerun of a fine race and a brilliant, brilliant ride. Pat Day waited on the favorite. He waited, and the red cap, he tried to go between horses. They closed on him. Social Retiree hanging on. And on the outside, 4 Stars, All Stars making a drive, but Pat Day had saved and saved the energy. He got the opening on the rail. He drove through, sticking his right hand. Now it's just gameless. Who's got what left and who can make it to the wire first? Pat Day, the winner of the Derby, the winner of the Dixie.
We just got a handshake from Mr. Ernie Samuel of Sam's Sun Farm of Canada as he headed down, and the Eclipse Award winner last year heading to the winner's circle again as Sky Classic gets to the finish line first in the Dixie Early Times Handicap.
Budweiser 4-man volleyball tour. Wednesdays on ESPN. Don't miss it.
Wimbledon Farm, home of classic Belmont Stakes winner Danzig Connection. Sire of 4 stakes winners, including 1991 Group 3 winners Polsky Boy and Star of Gdansk. In his first 2 crops, Danzig Connection provides proven bloodlines at Wimbledon Farm.
Here's the real beauty of Rust-Oleum protective coatings. A tough barrier against the elements. Rust-Oleum, the name that means protection.
If you're an American working a 10-hour day and you have a family, when do you find time for investing? How do you track your investments if your broker's gone for the day? How can you get a quote or place an order if your broker's not available? 24-hour access to your broker and to your investments isn't just a good idea. It's a convenience that fits the way most investors work and live. That's why we offer 24-hour toll-free service to our investors at Charles Schwab.
ESPN's cooking up a Tuesday night special of Surf and Turf. A sizzling serving of hot summer nights and America's favorite pastime. ESPN's Tuesday night special, Surf and Turf.
Now's a perfect time to purchase official souvenir items for the 124th running of the Belmont Stakes. Choose from caps, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and much, much more. These quality products are now available at Belmont Park. And to receive a complete catalog detailing products and prices for Belmont Stakes and Belmont Park souvenirs, just call 1-800-422-NYRA.
ESPN welcomes you back to the Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore, Maryland, and you're taking a look at our unofficial winner of the Dixie Handicap, Sky Classic, and he certainly knows how to get to the winner's circle. We've got a winner on tap for you tonight on ESPN. Friday night baseball, 7:30. What a pitching duel. The Boston Red Sox have the Rocket, Roger Clemens, on the mound against Jim Abbott and the California Angels, Fenway Park. The site for Friday night baseball on ESPN tonight at 7:30. Unofficially, Sky Classic has won the Dixie Handicap. What's interesting, after slow early fractions, he finished just 4/5 of a second off of the course and the stakes record. The running time of 1:47.4, so Pat Day came home in a hurry. In fact, he covered the last 1/8 of a mile in less than 12 seconds. Let's go up now to Tom Durkin and take a look at the replay.
Well, a little trouble at the start. It really didn't affect the first 3 finishers. We'll take a look at the start of the race. Note numbers 3, 4, and 5. Rebuff, Lotus Pool, and Baron DeVoe. Number 4, Lotus Pool, gets the squeeze play at the start. Baron DeVoe comes over. Rebuff also came over. Lotus Pool checked and checked out. And we'll take it up now as they move toward the top of the stretch. On the lead, as he was through these soft fractions, was Social Retiree, and in the red and yellow, the Samsung Colors Sky Classic. This horse had earned twice as much money as any other horse in the race. Pat Day rode a brilliant race, and underlining the quality of this effort was the fact that he was carrying 6 more pounds than his main rival today, 4 Stars All-Star. Another brilliant piece of race riding by Pat Day, and he didn't have too much to spare at the end, though, but good enough to win. Chris?
All right, Tom, and there is Samsung Farms Colors going to the under the wire. First was Sky Classic, the winner of the Dixie Handicap. And you're taking a look at some of the winner's circle activity now as trainer Jim Day taking the saddle off. and chatting with Pat Day. And there's Ernie Samuel in the front of the picture there in the blue blazer with the crest of Sam's Son Farm. He was the Eclipse Award-winning owner of last year in thoroughbred racing in North America, and is off to an awfully good start again in 1992.
Car and Driver magazine declared its road manners are in the import vein, but comfort is better. And if you're wondering what else they had to say about the new Oldsmobile 88 Royale, call 1-800-346-OLDS. We'll send you their complete test drive evaluation on video cassette, free. Because when Car and Driver says the new 88 has hit the elusive style mark, it deserves more of your time than we can give it here. Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering.
I'm here in this auto graveyard to demonstrate New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. Simply wipe it on and wipe it off. There's no rubbing, no buffing. Look how New Finish restored a deep, hard shine to even this weather-beaten old car. You see, New Finish is not a wax. It's a space-age polymer formula that shines better and lasts longer. And here's proof. An independent laboratory tested New Finish against several leading brands of car polish. After simulating a full year of varying weather, New Finish had the highest gloss and actually retained 90% of its original shine. Next, we polished this car with New Finish and ran it through 52 car washes. After all the harsh detergents and scrubbing, the water still beads. You'll find New Finish is great for fiberglass boats, too. So get New Finish, the once-a-year car polish. And between polishings, use New Finish car wash to clean your car.
New Finish Liquid, rated #1 by leading consumer magazines, available at Sears, Pep Boys, Rite Aid, True Value, Ace Hardware, Western Auto, Eckerd, Walgreens, Kmart, and other leading stores.
In the world of handicapping, you've got to make the right moves at the right time. Speed is of the essence. Knowledge is power. And Buyer's Speed Figures are the key. Now, the key is in the form. Buyer's Speed Figures come to daily racing form. Pick it up today. Daily racing form, where winners come to play.
The Indy 500 time trials. Saturday and Sunday live on ESPN. This week, the ladies are ready to roll at the Michigan Ladies Classic. Then former world champion Mike McCallum slugs it out on Top Rank Boxing.
Knockdown Thursday, ESPN. Hey!
There's the winning smile of rider Pat Day, the Kentucky Derby winning rider. I don't think he ever gets tired of hearing that. Standing next to Ernie Samuel of Sam's Son Farm, Rick Poville, of course, at the early times, Jim Day, the trainer, making the presentation. And here are the official numbers here. Sky Classic, the big favorite, $4, $2.80 and $2.80. 4 Stars All-Star, $3.60, $4. So the two that finished second and third behind Kudas in the first leg at Louisville now finish first and second here and stay in line for the bonus money. Social Retiree was third, the exacta 8.6, returns 12.80 and just 4/5 of a second off the stakes and the course record. Now Frank Wright with Pat Day.
And Pat, I don't think I've ever seen you ride a better race. How did you? Were you just waiting because you wanted to wait, or was there no room up the backside?
Well, we were just following 4-star Mike Smith's horse, 4-star All-Star, and felt pretty comfortable following him around there. They started to get away from me just a little bit at the 3/8 pole, and I was so pleased with this colt. You'll see up here, they'll get a little bit of daylight between Mike and I was afraid the field might drop in and take our space, and I encouraged the horse just a little bit, and he just eased right up in there so kind, and then relaxed again, and at the head of the stretch, I was trying to work my way to the outside when Mike come off the inside and come around the leader, and at that point, there was a clear shot right down the fence. I dropped in and called on him, and he just responded beautifully like he had done all last year, and I'm just so pleased that he ran this kind of race, and pleased for Mr. Day and Mr. Samuel, and happy to be a part of it.
It looked like you tried to go between horses just for a second there and change your mind, turn left.
Well, actually, I was just outside of Mike on 4-star there and was going to come around him. I thought he was going to go on up the fence, and when he came out, I was in tight for just a moment. I was able to drop back to the inside, and as I said, he just responded beautifully.
You make it sound so easy. A brilliant ride. Congratulations, Pat Day. I enjoyed watching.
Thank you very much, sir.
And Chris, back to you, sir.
All right, thank you much. Our congratulations to Pat Day. He's got a few other thoughts on his mind, of course. Little E.T. tomorrow, the favorite in the Preakness, the winner of the Kentucky Derby. Well, now let's set up our next race. Don't move, Pat Day. Stay right there. Don't get my shot. We're going to go upstairs to Tom Durkin now and find out about the Black-Eyed Susan. Tom?
Well, personally, I think it would have been an improvement over the shot, but nonetheless, on to the Black-Eyed Susan, a race which is named after the state flower here in Maryland, a blanket of which shall drape the withers of tomorrow's winner of the Preakness Stakes. This Black-Eyed Susan is having its 68th running this year. The distaff counterpart to the Preakness, it is for 3-year-olds, but it's for 3-year-old fillies. It's a grade 2, and the distance is 1 mile and 1/8. Let's meet the field, shall we? Number 1 is Pleasant Baby. A long shot today. She was soundly beaten in the Ashland at Keeneland. Number 2, Diamond Duo, locally based. Bill Donovan, who sends out Dash for Dottie in the Preakness tomorrow, sends out this filly who won her prep for this one very convincingly. Favored lady, she'll be no favorite in this spot. Number 4, Miss Legality, Sonny Hine trains. She set the pace in the Ashland and was rank. She'll need to settle down today, and she'll need to stretch out her speed. Number 5, Preach, the favorite in last year's Breeders' Cup for juvenile fillies. She ran 7th that day. The only Grade 1 stakes winner in this race, treated for Lasix this afternoon for the first time. Number 6 is Spinning Round, a multiple graded stakes winner owned by George Steinbrenner. Hard-hitting and consistent is Spinning Round. Number 7, His Ginger, a long shot who ran 7th in the Ashland. And number 8, Known Feminist, claim for $12,000 on January 19th. She has earned 3 times that much so far this year, and if she wins this afternoon, Known Feminist will have won 10 times as much as she was paid for just a couple months ago. 3-year-old fillies going at it in this, the Black-Eyed Susan. Chris?
About 15 minutes to post, and here come some of our fillies over now as they're getting ready. They're preparing the track behind us, 1 1/8 for $250,000. That's coming up on ESPN.
Shine a light on you, shine a light on me. Keep your Bud Light shining for everyone to see. Cuts clean through your thirst, never leaves you flat. Outshining all the others that were Bud Light. Yeah.
If you're into looking good, get into Bud Light. Clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, you can feel it, you know you got it right. Everything else is just a light. Keep your Bud Light shining. Everything else is just a light. And gets
the time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast. And cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
Stone Farm is proud to welcome Festine to its 1992 stallion roster. Festine, a multiple Grade 1 stakes winner, had speed and could carry it with victories like this in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Earner of over $2.1 million, Festine now stands at Stone Farm.
The wind is picked up. It seems to be a bit cooler and gray skies overhead here at Pimlico Racecourse as ESPN welcomes you back to our live coverage. And just completed the early times. Dixie Handicap, let's give you the full order of finish. You know about the top 3. Baron DeVoe ran 4th. Lotus Pool, after getting really banged around at the start, comes back to run 5th in the race. Then it's Futurist by Union Avenue, Simile, Rebuff, and Royal Ninja. One of the big prices finished last there. Well, now we're talking, of course, about the Black-Eyed Susan. It's the 3-year-old fillies, and to meet our leading ladies, let's go to Frank right now to make the introductions.
This is Spinning Round, bred and owned by George Steinbrenner's Kinsman Stud. She's earned nearly $348,000 through her consistent performances like this game second in the Grade 1 Ashland Stakes. And her preparation here at Pimlico has been much to the delight of trainer Jim Baker.
Yeah, we weren't trying to put any speed into her. She worked good last week, 5/8, 59.3, galloped out 12-2, and just something steady, get a little something out of it. She galloped out a good day, 5/8, 102, so I think she come up to it just right.
The diminutive filly has been worse than third only twice in 12 tries and offers a versatile style as a major asset.
That's the best thing about her. She's got two styles. She can lay close or she can come from out of it. So whatever the pace is, we'll be okay. We've always liked this filly. She's small, and she's always right there. She hasn't won a lot of races, but she runs good every time. She's got a check every time she's run. So we'll be in the ball game here Friday.
Hoping to regain her winning ways in Baltimore is Miss Legality. She's trained by Sonny Hine, who will also saddle technology in the Preakness. But the subject of discussion was the filly's brisk workout under jockey Walter Guerra.
Oh, I had asked Walter to just sit on her and then let her finish a little bit in the lane, and he didn't realize how fast he was going. And they tell me that she went to first, 8th, and 11 and 3, and ended up in 45 and 4.
Kentucky did not treat Miss Legality or technology very well, but Sonny is confident things will improve in Maryland.
Well, I'm hoping she worked very good, and she has a lot of speed. Generally, speed's an important factor here. The first turn's very sharp, and she should be in contending position early, and look, hopefully she'll go on.
A couple of starters who have already done well in the Free State are the 1-2 finishers in this contest, Diamond Duo and Known Feminist. Diamond Duo's trainer, Bill Donovan, thinks the home court can be a real advantage.
I think it's a big advantage. I think so. Yeah, it can't hurt. This is a little different racetrack than most, faster than most. Yeah, a horse that likes this racetrack, you know, I think they run well over it time and time again. A horse that doesn't like it, and of course, they don't perform as well.
Known Feminist has certainly performed well with 4 wins and 2 seconds from 6 starts this year. Her trainer, Franny Capitelli, knows his filly is stepping way up today. But what are you going to do with a $250,000 purse in your own backyard?
That's probably the key to the whole deal. The people live here. I'm from Baltimore my whole life, and actually wouldn't go anywhere looking for these horses. It's just going to be a pleasure to be in there, and hopefully we'll be able to get a piece of it.
We're getting a few sprinkles of the predicted rain starting to fall in the Baltimore area as we present the post parade for the 68th Black-Eyed Susan, Pleasant Baby. A winless this year, 6 in the Aston, beaten 7.5 lengths. Aaron Stable sends out Pleasant Baby, trained by Bert Saunier, ridden by Shane Sellers, record-setting rider at Arlington, rides Conte de Savoy in tomorrow's Preakness. The 2-horse Keeneland sales purchase, $4,500. Diamond Duo coming off a 4-length allowance win here at Pimlico. Tommy Turner, local rider, who's on Dash for Dottie in the Preakness Stakes tomorrow. The 3-horse, the filly favored Lady, daughter of Fabiano, allowance winner in Florida on the turf, back to the dirt for the first time since January. Edgar Prado, Pimlico's leading rider by 20 wins, has the assignment today. The 4-horse Miss Legality, 6 in the Kentucky Oaks, won the Devona Dale down at Gulfstream in Florida. Sonny Hine trains. Chris McCarron rides. He's a Hall of Famer, of course, who's a 3-time winner of this race. The 5-horse in the Claiborne Fame Silks, this is Preach. Bourbonette winner, then a disappointment in the Ashland Stakes. Won the Frazetta in New York last fall. Mike Smith has won 7 straight riding titles in New York. Is the jockey. The 6 horses spinning round. 4 starts this year, all in the money. 2nd in the Ashland. Craig Perrette rides, a 2-time winner of this Black-Eyed Susan stake. The 7-horse, His Ginger, won the Genuine Risk, then was 7th in the Ashland. Walter Guerra rides, as a Breeders' Cup race winner. Won the mile with Cozine some years back. And the 8-horse rounding out our field, Known Feminist, allowance winner here at Pimlico. Charlie Fenwick III, 18-year-old rider who just lost his bug a few months ago, back from a broken back injury 6 months ago. He has the assignment this afternoon. The rain picks up a bit as the fillies turn up the track, and our post time now about 7 minutes away for the 68th running of the $250,000 Black-Eyed Susan. It's coming up next on ESPN. Stay with us from Pimlico Race Course in Baltimore on Budweiser Racing Across America.
The 91.
Our tour
tour today begins with the Darryl Strawberry Cross-Training Wing, a modern exhibition of athletic performance in its purest form. As you can see, Darryl has many techniques, all derived from his cross-training shoes by Nike. Notice his precision and unwavering concentration.
His work's improved since he left New York.
It's a West Coast thing.
Gordon's got him. Gordon Shoes, Liberty Avenue, Bloomfield.
Don't be fooled by cheap imitations or copies. DeSala's Pizza in the South Side, family owned and operated for over 30 years, prepares everything from their menu fresh in-store daily. Try our delicious pizza, porterhouse steak sandwiches, Italian hoagies, and gyros. Call 431-7311 for more great Italian specials. DeSala's now delivers to these areas 7 days a week, 5 p.m. to midnight. Or stop by. We're located across from the Birmingham Bridge, 2212 East Carson Street in the South Side. That's 431-7311.
You can't beat the excitement of America's fastest athlete this weekend at a track near you.
With Matchlight, you get the best charcoal, Kingsford, with just the right amount of lighter fluid already added. That's why there's only one match for Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
Rain falling a bit harder in Baltimore on Pimlico Racecourse has chased some of the fans away from the trackside and in for cover right now. As we're going to bring you an odds update on the Black-Eyed Susan. Here's the way the fans in the betting windows are looking at this race. Pleasant Baby, a big price. Diamond Duo at 5. Favored Lady, 11-1. Miss Legality, 4-1. There's Preach at 7-2. Spinning Round, solid though, 3-2. Favorite right now. His Ginger at 13-1. Known Feminist at 20. So Spinning Round and Preach seem to be the favorites here of the betting public. As you take a look at the starting gate there here for the Preakness Stakes sign already up. But it's a Black-Eyed Susan that we're looking at now, and we're looking for a Budweiser long shot for the fillies.
Our Budweiser long shot for the Black-Eyed Susan is His Ginger, a daughter of Fred Astaire, named after his toad-tapping teammate Ginger Rogers. Since trainer Ron Benchoff added blinkers, His Ginger has been stepping out in stakes company and waltzing home a winner 3 times, as she did here in the Genuine Risk Stakes at Laurel. Now, we can forgive her when she tripped up in the mud at Aqueduct and when she didn't fancy the footing at Keeneland, but she's been prancing perfectly otherwise. So with her running shoes and her blinkers on, we think His Ginger just might waltz away with another one as a Budweiser long shot.
And there is His Ginger, the 7-horse, and here are the odds. It's coming sharply into focus there at 13-1. Wouldn't that be a nice return on a Bud long shot? And our apologies to His Ginger and Connections for the alliteration-filled Bud long shot by Mr. Durkin there. And there you see him galloping on the background as they're warming up, getting ready for the race. We're setting ready for this race, too. And Frank, write some of your observations here.
One interesting feature, Chris, and fans of this race, 8 horses, 2 different groups. There are 4 stake winners in here. Miss Legality, Preach, Spinning Round, and His Ginger. All of them carry the top weight, 122 pounds, all of them stake winners. The other 4 all carry 114, the bottom weight, non-stake winners. And I don't think the 8 pounds difference is going to bring them together. I believe our winner will come from the haves, not the have-nots.
Well, one filly that really has been driving people crazy following her is Preach. Claiborne Farm had a lot of faith in this filly. She won in New York to present last fall. She was brilliant in the Bourbonette. And then everything went wrong in the Ashton. In fact, we had a chance earlier today to talk to trainer Shug McGahee and asked him what went wrong in the Ashton Stakes, Shug.
She didn't run any at all in the Ashland. We came back and she did bleed some to give her a little bit more of an excuse. And you know, we've got her here. She's had two pretty nice works since the Ashland. One especially nice one Tuesday at Belmont before our center here. I haven't been here, but my health says she's been an entirely different horse since she's been here, disposition-wise, than she was in Kentucky. We schooled her in the paddock, and she acted pretty good for her there. And I think that'll be a lot of the clue to it is, you know, maybe how we get her over there today might dictate how she's going to run.
Well, the brilliant daughter of Mr. Prospector preached the 5-horse in the famed Claiborne orange or yellow colors. They never can quite decide what to call them. Tom Durkin, some thoughts on this precocious Preach.
Well, horses act in various ways for various reasons, and one of them is heredity. Preach is a daughter of Mr. Prospector and Narrate. Now, Narrate had a mind of her own. She'd run well one time, and then she'd run back the next, bad the next time. Preach may have inherited that vexing habit and her vexing disposition. She never has run 2 good races back-to-back, has Preach. And yes, she did run bad last time, so maybe if she runs to her apparent inherited pattern, she'll run well today, Chris.
All right, Frank, you were taking a close eye on Preach. Chuck McGee was worried about how she'd come over.
That was his key. He was interested, as all horsemen are, as how she went to the gate. She went quietly. She's not broken out, maybe by help of the Lasix. I look forward to run well, Chris, from what I've seen on the way to the post.
Favorite Lady goes in the 3-hole. You saw the stakes in track record. 147-1 is the track record to match here. The track still listed as fast. A light rain is falling here in Baltimore. Spinning around, smallest filly in the field as she goes in now. The 6-horse, $348,000. She's the top money earner here, this little filly. Here's Ginger. There's the Bud Long shot for Tom Durkin. So, Tom, you've said all you can about his Ginger. Have another line for us?
Well, Chris, you talked about spinning around being small. Size doesn't make any difference with horses as far how fast they can run. If that was the case, then perhaps a rabbit could beat a cow. The last horse to move into line here is Preach. You see a blindfold on Preach. She acts up in behind the starting gate. Some horses have a fear of the starting gate. So how do you get rid of the fear? Well, you don't let them see it. You put a blindfold on. She's still acting up in the spirit of her damn Narrate. She has a blindfold on. Little trick by the assistant starters. Of course, they will remove the blindfold. We're ready for a start here in the Black-Eyed Susan, and they are off. Diamond Duo is away well toward the inside, spinning around his good speed today. So does Miss Legality. She's in the green in between horses. Known Feminist will be caught widest of all as they move under the line for the first time. Miss Legality is taken in hand while on the lead. Known Feminist is right there to prompt the early pace on the outside. Diamond Duo right there toward the rails, spinning around, mixing it up in between horses. She's 3 wide. Favorite Lady is in between horses. His Ginger, the Bud Long shot, is caught 4 wide around the first turn, and Preach is loping along in behind horses. She's running very comfortably early as she tips to the outside down the backstretch. 4 lengths back to the stretch, running Pleasant Baby as they make their way into the backstretch. The first quarter, 24 2/5 seconds. A moderate opening panel here as Miss Legality leads the way. There's only mild pressure from Known Feminist right there on the outside. Diamond Duo right there toward the inside. She's having a good trip so far, and Preach is running a powerful race today. Mike Smith is in hand with her on the outside, and she's moving toward the lead, and his Ginger is moving with her. So as the field moves into the far turn, after a half mile in 48 4/5 seconds, Miss Legality still holding on to a short lead. Known Feminist is right there. Preach poised on the outside. She's running third now. The Bud Long shot still in with the chance. His Ginger is fourth. Diamond Duo toward the inside, and the favorite spinning round is still about 6 lengths from the lead with less than 3 furlongs to come, and they're running away from the rest of them here are Miss Legality and Known Feminist. They've opened up now by 4.5 lengths, and the local runner Diamond Duo is set down for the drive. She's third, and Preach is giving it up. She's dropping back badly. Pleasant Baby is there, and spinning round will not do her best today. They're in the final furlong, and it is Miss Legality. She has turned back the challenge of Known Feminist, and Diamond Duo and Miss Legality will go on under Chris McCarron to do it again. McCarron wins another Black-Eyed Susan.
That is the 4th Black-Eyed horse that went off at odds of 4-1 here this afternoon. Miss Legality, an unofficial winner in 151, quite a bit off both stakes and track record, as the rain, Frank, really started falling hard as the horses went to the clubhouse turn.
Well, as they did, of course, Miss Legality hung on gamely through the stretch. She hung on ahead of Known Feminist and came out a little bit in front of that one, but I believe she was clear.
We'll take a closer look at this race when we come back, but it seems pretty clear. Miss Legality was the best of all at the Black-Eyed Susan of 1992.
Looking good. Get into Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, you can feel it, you know you got it right. Everything else is just a lie. Everything else is just a lie. Keep your Bud Light shining.
Excuse me, do you know what stock options are?
I wish I did.
The information you know you should know is in the Wall Street Journal's video guide to money and markets. This exclusive 30-minute video is free. When you call for 13 weeks of the journal for just $37, that's over 20% off the newsstand price.
Call toll-free 800-832-8700 for 13 weeks of the Wall Street Journal and your free video on money and markets. That's 800-832-8700.
The time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast. And cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
Spend the summer racing on the Jersey Shore at beautiful Monmouth Park. Monmouth Park, with more than $2.8 million in stakes money and overnight purses of $135,000 each day. The season is highlighted by the Haskell Invitational on August 2nd and the Island Handicap, the next to last race in the American Championship Racing Series, on August 8th. From the John J. Riley Handicap on May 29th to the Queen Charlotte on September 6th. Share in the glory. Be a winner at Monmouth Park. For information, contact Randy Soth, Director of Racing.
Chris McCarron comes back with his fourth winner in the Black-Eyed Susan, Miss Legality, owned and bred by Norton Waltuck. He's from Inglewood, New Jersey. Miss Legality, the filly who's by Skip Trial, is a Florida bred. Sonny Hine, the trainer who also trained Skip Trial. Miss Legality, 151, Known Feminist second, Diamond Duo third, and Tom Durkin has a look at how she won the Black-Eyed Susan.
Well, she won it on the lead, and she won it going easily in the early going, then spurting away in the middle part of the race. There is Preach, and she was just pulling her jockey Mike Smith practically out of the saddle. But when he asked for run, Preach said, "Not today, no thanks." Miss Legality on the lead. Known Feminist was pressing her really hard in the middle part of the race. The half mile went in 48 and 4. That's very slow, but they ran their next quarter mile in 23 and 3/5 seconds. They really picked up the tempo in the middle of the race, and here you can see McCarron going to that stick right-handed, working on her all the way down to the line, and she went on here to a solid victory. Take nothing away from the filly, but boy, you've got to give a lot of credit to a great race rider in Chris McCarron. Nursed her on the lead and got her to run through the lane.
And Chris McCarron just owns this race. You mentioned a four-time winner. He won with Family Style in '86, took it to his Jill in '85. He won on What a Summer back in 1976. And now Chris McCarron flies in from California and wins the 1992 Black-Eyed Susan with Sonny Hines' Miss Legality.
Matchlight, you get the best charcoal, Kingsford, with just the right amount of lighter fluid already added. That's why there's only one match for Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
I think they'll have shampoo there.
You might not have Head and Shoulders.
We're only going to be gone a week.
Right, a week. Head and Shoulders helps take care of the condition that causes flakes every day, because you never know. You know?
Head and Shoulders, because you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
If you haven't talked to your kids about drugs, make an appointment.
Yo, Mom, you want to see me?
And if you don't know what to say, ask us. For a free parent's guide to drug prevention, call 1-800-624-0100.
There's a storm brewing on ESPN. Saturday Night Thunder. It's a night of lightning-quick action featuring live USAC midgets and sprints. Saturday Night Thunder on ESPN.
When they're off, are you in the money? You are when you read the Daily Racing Form, the authority since 1894. Only the form gives you the most accurate and complete past performances, speed figures from Andy Beyer, the latest workouts, jockey trainer records, dirt, grass, and off-track career boxes, and the insight and opinions of some of racing's best riders and handicappers. So don't get left at the gate. Pick up the Daily Racing Form, the paper to read when you're playing to win.
ESPN welcomes you back to Pimlico Racecourse. Under the umbrella is Sherry Lucas, wife of Dwayne Lucas, the famed trainer, handing the Black-Eyed Susan Trophy to Chris McCarron. Sonny Hines, someone in the trainer, along with Norton Waltuck from Inglewood, New Jersey, the winning owner. And there goes Miss Legality, the official winner of the 68th running of the Black-Eyed Susan. $250,000 purse there. Well, the rain is really starting to fall now here. We're going to take a look at the official prices for our Black-Eyed Susan race for you now. Miss Legality in 151 returns a nice 1040, 620, and 380. Known Feminist 1540 and 5. Diamond Duo $5. Look at that exact of 4.8, $284. Well, of course, the focus this week is on the Preakness. Now, how might this weather affect it? Well, they tell us the forecast tomorrow is for a beautiful day. Temperatures in the 80s, sunny, no rain. This rain should be out of here by then. We'll see if that weather forecast holds. Let's give you a rundown now of the field for the 117th Preakness Stakes. Sonny Hines got one in there. Technology. Chris McCarron will have a ride as well. Here are the morning line odds after the draw on Thursday morning here. Agincourt 15-1. Technology. There's Sonny Hines 8-1. Conte de Savoy at 12. Pine Bluff 6-1. Big Sir, one of Lucas's, 20-1. Careful Gesture and My Luck Runs North at 30. The rest of the field, Casual Eyes 6-1. Little E.T. 7-2. The favorite, the Derby winner. Dash for Dottie at 30. Fortune's Gone at 50. Ali D 9-2. The second choice. Speakerphone 12-1. And Dance Floor at 6-1. All week we've been covering the preparations of the Preakness starters. We want to give you a look now at who we feel are the top 4 contenders. And of course you start with the winner of the Kentucky Derby in stall 40, Lil E.T. At 7-2 though, the longest priced Kentucky Derby winner ever made is a favorite for the Preakness. So a lukewarm choice, Little E.T. Now Casual Lies breezed at 6:15 this morning. Owner trainer Shelley Riley said her colt's in great shape, better than her. She's been bitten by Conte de Savoy in the barn area. Shelley's moving a little slow. Technology, now here's the big question mark. Sonny Hines horse ran 10th in the Derby, cut his right forefront, galloping Thursday. It's been wrapped. I just saw Sonny Hines. He said, we are running. Ali Deed, this is the horse everybody's talking about, the winner of the Derby trial. 58-2 work here for 5/8 on Wednesday. Really had people's eyes open. So Ali Deed, a strong second choice. A lot of people think that he may lack seasoning, but he's got a lot of talent. Tom Durkin, your thoughts on tomorrow's Preakness?
Well, Lily T just doesn't seem to get a lot of respect that a Kentucky Derby winner should have. Just doesn't seem to have that kind of charisma. Maybe it's his workmanlike style in his victories, which are good but really unspectacular. Maybe it's just his name, Lil E.T. Really doesn't have a very fierce or noble ring to it. Well, maybe the horse that gets the most attention and has this week, Ali Deed, is the one that will answer our dreams that Arazi left in the wake of a very bad performance in Kentucky. Like Arazi, there is just hope at this point, but Ali Deed, well, perhaps he can do it with a performance tomorrow.
I think Frank Wright has his eye on a foreign horse, not quite as far as they had to ship from France, just down from Canada.
Well, Ali Deed is handsome. Handsome is as handsome does, but he has 3 things I love. He has size, he's handsome, and he has speed. I do know his connections. That's Ali Deed's. Do not want a wet track.
That could be a factor as the rain really falls here now in Baltimore, Maryland. But again, the forecast tomorrow for Preakness Day is a good day. I know a lot of people, Frank, as they've talked this week, though, say they would not be surprised to see a total reverse order. Maybe the first three that hit the board in the Derby might not even show up here at the Preakness.
Well, they're that concerned about consistency, but the last time they met, Lily beat all of them but this newcomer virtually, and I think it's between the two of them, Chris.
5:31 post time for the 117th Preakness tomorrow. We'll be here, of course, also for you. Let's take a look at what's coming up. Right after us, the Tour du Pont, as that great cycling race, 1,000-mile race, winding its way to Washington, D.C., is coming up next on ESPN. And tomorrow for us, join us at 1 o'clock. We'll have a complete preview of the Preakness, an update, of course, on the track and the field conditions here. As you take a look, Sky Classic coming in on the rail to win the early times Dixie Handicap. And then the 4-horse, this is Miss Legality, running away to win the black-eyed Susan for Sonny Hine and company. And tomorrow on to the Preakness. Today's show brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Wagner, makers of quality power painters, power rollers, power washers. By the DeBartolo Corporation, leading the way to the 21st century. And by the Thoroughbred Racing Associations, assuring the highest racing standards. Charts and statistics, courtesy of the Daily Racing Form, America's Turf Authority. Accommodations in Baltimore for ESPN's crew, provided by the Pikesville Hilton Inn, making your business a pleasure. For reservations, call 1-800-HILTON.